invite Shri N. Gopalaswami, the Padma Bhushan awardee and the former Chief Election Commissioner and the Chairman of Kalakshetra, onto the dais. And I would like Chitravina Ravikiran to come on stage to honor Shri Gopalaswami sir. I would like to request Shri N. Gopalaswami sir to give his presidential address.
எல்லாருக்கும் நமஸ்காரம். பிரசிடென்ஷியல் அட்ரஸ்னு பெரிய வார்த்தையெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணார். ஆனால் யாரை இன்றைக்கி ஆனர் பண்ணுமோ அவரே என்னை ஆனர் பண்ணது எனக்கு பெரிய ஆனர். போற்றி புகழ்வதும் புந்தியில் வைப்பதும்னு குருவெல்லாம் பற்றி அவரோட காரியங்களை ஒசத்தி பேசணும்னு சொல்லியிருக்கு. ஆனால் ஒசந்த இடத்துல இருக்கவாள ஒசந்த காரியம் பண்ணவாள இன்னும் ஒசத்தி பேச முடியுமான்னா அஃப்கோர்ஸ் பேசுகிறதுக்கு தடை கிடையாது, லிமிட் கிடையாது. இன்னும் 50 வயசு எட்டாத, ஆனால் அந்த 50 வயசுக்கும் மீறின அதீதமான ஒரு அச்சீவ்மெண்ட்ஸ் உள்ள ஒரு உன்னதமான மனிதரை பற்றி இன்றைக்கி பேசுறதுக்கு நான் அழைச்சதுக்கு நான் முதல் என்னுடைய நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். ஒருத்தருக்குள்ள டேலண்ட்டை கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதும் ஒரு டேலண்ட். அந்த வகையில் முதல் நமஸ்காரம் முதல்ல சொல்ல வேண்டியவர் சித்திரவீணா நரசிம்மன் சார். கண்டுபிடிக்காத பட்டை தீட்டப்படாத வைரங்கள் நிறையா இருக்கின்றன. ஆனால் அது நமக்கு தெரியாது. அதுக்கு ஒருத்தர் கண்டுபிடிச்சு அதை பட்டை தீட்டு அதை மெருகேற்றி அதை 4 பேருக்கு காமிக்கும்போது அடாடா இப்படி ஒரு வைரம் நமக்கு கிடச்சிருக்கு அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு சந்தோஷம் எல்லாரும் மனசுலேயும் வரும். இந்த வயசுக்குள்ளே இத்தனை காரியங்கள் செஞ்சது ரவிகிரனுக்கு பாராட்டுக்கு மாத்திரம் இல்லை, அது ஒரு நான் அப்படி நினைக்கிறேன். அதாவது அதுக்கு ஒரு பகவத் சங்கல்பம் வேணும், அதுக்கு ஒரு கொடுப்பினைன்னு சொல்லுவோம் நம்ம. அது கொடுப்பினை எந்த விதமாக கொடுப்பினையா பகவான் கொடுத்தாரா இல்லை நீங்களே எடுத்துட்டீங்களா என்ன மாதிரி வச்சுங்க. ஆனால் கொடுப்பினைன்னு ஒன்று இருக்குது. ஒரு நல்ல பாடகராக ஒருத்தர் வரலாம், நல்லபடியாக பாடி எல்லாரையும் கவரலாம். ஆனால் அதுக்கு மேற்பட்டு ஒரு வாக்கியக்காரராக, அதுவும் ஒரு கஷ்டமான தாளங்களில் வித்தியாசமான தாளங்களில் பலவிதமான காம்போசிஷன்ஸ் பண்ணக்கூடிய திறமை அப்படின்னா அது சிலருக்கு தான் கைகூடும். எல்லோரும் பாடுவா, அதில் ஒருவேளை ஒரு 5% இல்லை 2% காம்போசிஷன் பண்ணக்கூடிய திறமை உள்ளவளாக ஜொலிப்பார்கள். அதுவும் அந்த காம்போசிஷனுங்கிறச்சே அது சுலபமாக இருக்கணும், ஈஸி ஆன் த இயர். இப்போ 4 காம்போசிஷன் கேட்டோம், 2 தமிழ், ஒரு தெலுங்கு, ஒரு சம்ஸ்கிருதம். அந்த 4மே நான் என்ன சொல்லுவேன்னா, அண்ணா பாடினமா அண்ணா நிறுத்தி பாடினா அது ஒரு அவர்களுக்கு பாராட்டுகள். ஆனால் அதை கேட்குறச்சே அதனுடைய அர்த்தம் புரியணும், அதில் மனசு ஈடுபடணும். அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணோம்னா அதுக்கு ஒரு காம்போசிஷன் பண்ணக்கூடிய திறமையும் வேணும். அதாவது வார்த்தைகள் ஜாலம்னு பெருசாக பண்ணிடலாம், ஆனால் அந்த வார்த்தைகள் உள்ள உள்ளர்த்தத்தோடு அது வெளியில் அதை நல்லா காதுக்கு இனிமையாக மாத்திரம் இல்லை, அதனோட அர்த்தத்தை புரிஞ்சுண்டு அதில் ஈடுபடக்கூடிய ஒரு வாய்ப்பு அது ஏற்படுத்துதுன்னா அது போல் உத்தமமான ஒரு படைப்பு இல்லை. அந்த விதத்தில் இந்த 4 ஒரு பானை சோற்றுக்கு ஒரு சோறு பதம்ங்கிற மாதிரி இந்த 4 is a great an example of his ability to compose compositions which reach you to the heart, which reach to your heart state. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு உன்னதமான படைப்புகள் செஞ்சுருக்கிறார். எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு குறை தான், இதெல்லாம் இங்கேருந்து பண்ணலையே அங்கேருந்து பண்ணியிருக்காருங்கிறது ஒரு குறை உண்டு எனக்கு. ஆனால் அவர் இங்கே வரணும்னு பார்க்குறாரு, அங்கே பண்ணதெல்லாம் இங்கே கொண்டு வந்து காமிக்கிறேன் அப்படின்றார். அந்த வகையில் அது ஒரு வரவேற்கத்தக்க விஷயம். இன்னொன்று, அந்த மியூசிக்லேயே ஊறி போயிருக்கும் ஆளுக்கு சில விஷயங்கள் அதீதமான கற்பனைகள் தோன்றும். அந்த மாதிரி உலகத்தில் உள்ள எல்லா கிளாசிக்கல் மியூசிக்கும் ஒரு அண்டர்லைங் யூனிட்டி இருக்குது. அதை வெளிக்கொண்டு வந்து அதை ஒரு எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும்படியாக செய்யணுங்கிற ஒரு ஆர்வத்தோடு ஒரு மெல் ஹார்மோனிக் வச்சு நடத்துகிறார். அதை இங்கே கொண்டு வந்து நம்மளுக்கும் அதனோட அனுபவத்தை கொடுக்கணும்னு அவர் நினைக்கிறார். ரொம்ப நல்ல எண்ணம். அதற்கும் இந்த சென்னையில் ஒரு வரவேற்பு கண்டிப்பாக இருக்கும். ஏன்னா சென்னையில் மியூசிக்கு நிறைய வரவேற்பு இருக்குது. அதில் இந்த விதமான கற்பனைகளும் இந்த விதமான ஒரு புதிய முயற்சிகளும் கண்டிப்பாக வரவேற்கப்படும். இன்னும் நிறைய பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா he is still very young. He has been singing from the age of 5 and playing from the age of 11. Still a long road ahead for him to showcase his talents. அது மாத்திரம் இல்லை, இந்த கர்நாடக இசைக்கே ஒரு அந்தஸ்து வெளிநாட்டில் அதுக்கு ஒரு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் இருக்குது. ஆனால் அதுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய அந்தஸ்து கொடுக்கும்படியான ஒரு இடத்துல இருக்கார். அந்த விதத்தில் அந்த தன்னுடைய தகுதியை உபயோகித்து அதற்கும் ஒரு பெரிய வரவேற்பை அந்த நாட்டில் கொடுக்கும்படியான இங்கே இருக்கலேங்கிற உனக்கு வருத்தம் இருந்தாலும் அங்கே இருந்து அந்த காரியத்தை நன்னா பண்ணுறாருங்கிறதுனால அதற்கு ஒரு பாராட்டுகள். சத்தஞ்சீவேம சரதா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு முடிச்சுடுறேன். பல ஆண்டு வாழணும், நிறைய செய்யணும், நிறைய எல்லாருக்கும் சொல்லிக் கொடுக்கணும். ஏன்னா ஒரு குருங்கிறது முக்கியமான அடையாளம் என்னென்னா, எத்தனை பேர் அவர் தன்னுடைய அந்த வழித்தோன்றல் எத்தனை பேரை தயார் பண்ணியிருக்காங்கிறது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். ஏன்னா குருவோடு அந்த சமாச்சாரம் முடிவு போச்சுன்னா அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த குருவுக்கு இந்த பகிர்ந்து கொடுத்தா தான் அது சோபையாகும், அது மிளரும். அந்த விதமாக நிறைய பேரை தயார் பண்ணணும். தயார் பண்ணி இந்த கர்நாடக இசைக்கே ஒரு பெருமை சேர்க்க வேண்டும் என்று அவரிடம் ஒரு வேண்டுகோளை வைத்து பல்லாண்டு வாழணும் என்று வாழ்த்தி விடைபெறுகிறேன். வணக்கம்.
We sincerely thank Shri Gopalaswami Sir for that lovely felicitations, in fact, to Ravikiran, and blessings. He is a great music rasika, which is what compelled us, apart from all his other qualifications. Our illanaume alla kachirikkum vara oru parama rasikar. So we really thank him for having accepted our invitation and being here. The next concert will be by Amrita Murli, which will commence in a short while from now. We are also honored to have Sheshasayee with us, and we will have that address after this concert. Thank you. We are extremely delighted to have with us Shri R. Sheshasayee, and we would like to welcome him onto the dais. I would request Shri Ravikiran sir also to come onto the dais. I would request Shri Krishnamurthy sir, the Honorary Secretary of Shri Parthasarthi Swami Sabha, to honor Shri Sheshasayee Sir. I would now like to request Shri Sheshasayee Sir to give his address.
Ellarukkum namaskaram. I see a few friends from abroad, so I will take your permission to speak in English. It's a great privilege to be part of this function. This is not a time to make long speeches. Yet, I think on behalf of all of you, it's my duty to convey our very deep appreciation and felicitations to an extraordinary creative artist, Shri Ravikiran. I've been his fan for many, many decades. I listened to him with awe when he was a child, and I listened to him with the same awe in the last December season concert in Music Academy. But this is not about his greatness as a performing artist. This is to celebrate his genius as a composer. In creative world, there are two types of creative artists or creative people. One is the kind of people who create extraordinary things, and you find them quite often in business and technology, where they work to rules, to grammar, to conditions. We're all aware of iPad, and if I take also another example from the music industry, we had the Sony Walkman, and quite often the creative people were given exactly the dimensions of what they need to produce, the weight, the length and the breadth and the cost and all of that, and then they were asked to go and create. And we have seen world-class creative spirit coming out despite conditions. So we have a lot of people working to grammar, to conditions for creativity. We've all gone through that. I'm sure that all of us as children, when we wrote poetry in our school days, we would start with the first line, something like, Mary had a cat, and then the second line had to rhyme with cat, and therefore you had to have a rat or a mat or something of that sort, and that fixed and then you work backwards with the second line. So grammar dictated a lot of creativity. To lesser people, grammar dictated. Even now I find in music compositions, in contemporary music compositions, not so good compositions, you find that the sahitya is stretched with a lot of akaram to get accommodated in an avartanam, or you shoehorn a lot of sahityam into the avartanam just to make sure that you're conforming to the talam. So grammar becomes, therefore, you become a prisoner of the grammar. So that's the low-class creativity. But the good creative people are indifferent to grammar. Grammar does not bother them. They go very deep into the space that is created within these conditions, within this framework, and explore beauty. When you listen to someone, as I did in my early days, I once listened to Natabaravi being sung by GNB, and I was completely awestruck by the kind of beauty that he explored. Unbelievable crevices, unbelievable crannies and nooks that he explored. And I'm sure all of you have had this kind of experience of someone going very deep into the recesses, extracting beauty out of those nooks and corners, and then giving it this beautiful creative dimension to it. So you have people, therefore, creating without being aware, without being obsessed by grammars and conditions. When Bharatiyar composes music in a Venba, you don't realize that the Venba requires a certain grammar and you got to get the spirit in it. You just enjoy the music, the composition, the lyrical beauty of that composition. And there are yet others who go much beyond that and then make the very grammar a part of the beauty. If you listen to Arunagirinathar's Tiruppugal, the talam itself is another dimension to that beauty. It is no longer a condition. It is no longer a limit. It is not a part of a framework that adds to the beauty. If you listen to Thirukkural, it adds to the beauty. The fact that it is composed in this kind of tight framework adds to the beauty of Kural. That is the genius of getting grammar to be a part of the dimension. And another person that readily comes to my mind is Uttukadu Venkatakavi, someone that Vidwan Ravikiran is devoted to, where the beauty gets enhanced. And the reason why you find that beauty is enhanced by this dimension of rhythm or grammar is what I discovered just now when I was listening to this extraordinary music. And I was just telling Ravi that it is unbelievable that the syllables of the composition came exactly in line with the beats and with the lagu. And that is what adds on to the beauty. And to me, this is purely divine. And I have no hesitation in saying that Ravi's music, apart from the fact that this is presented to you today as a part of his compositions based on the Tala series, they have lyrical beauty by themselves. They have very rich content. And it adds on, the Tala adds on to that beauty. The gravitas of the Shankarabharanam piece required the 29 Aksharam to anchor that. And the peppy song that he has composed on Parimala Rangapate on Kathanakutuhulam, which is a part of my playlist, required that kind of, I think it was Sankirna Jampa, right? Right, Sankirna Jampa. So it required that kind of peppiness, and so it adds on to that dimension of the beauty, and that is the greatness of a composer. And it's remarkable that he has this kind of depth, and I'm sure that the music world will discover this beauty. I said there are two types of creative people. I'll just make another reference to the second type of creative people who want to break away from the grammar. Like Picasso wanted to just break away from the grammar, and he composed, he had no grammar, he had no rules, and he made his painting and his compositions, creative art, completely out of bounds. It is the genius of Ravi that while he has very firm anchor and delves very deep and into the recesses of all the classical music that he's got, his mind is also open to go beyond this grammar and explore the world of music, all the world music. And the Melhana harmonic that he has created is something which is, to my mind, is wonderful. Once again, in fact, I greatly admire the compositions that he has made. In fact, the Vagadishwari piece is again one of my favorite in Melhana harmonics that he has created. I'm sure that if you just go to YouTube and you look for that, you'll enjoy a great deal of his compositions. So we have an extraordinary person. He's like a banyan tree. The banyan tree has got roots getting into the ground and going into the little crevices, finding its way to suck water and the beauty of the earth, while it's spreading its leaves and stems and to take in the world outside. And the way that it has its roots back again is bringing it back again to the classical anchor that he has. So let me say on behalf of all of you, we have a great composer, and on behalf of all of you, I want to congratulate and felicitate Vidwan Ravikiran for this extraordinary compositions. Thank you very much.
We sincerely thank Shri Sheshasayee sir. I'm very glad that I could invite him to speak today. He's a great music rasika, as you know, and a person who understands the nuances of music, and he enjoys every moment of all the details along with enjoying the aesthetics. We are sincerely thankful to him for accepting our invitation. I'm also glad that we changed the format of today's function, and we had both our elite dignitaries address all of you in between the concerts so that they could enjoy some music and then reflect on that as well, which made it even more enjoyable as much as Ravikiran's own compositions. I would request the composer now to share just a few special insights on his composition, very briefly.
Good evening and greetings to the brilliant dignitaries and achievers who are also, as you all know, the proverbial story of Goddess Saraswati playing the veena. And Parvati was listening to that, and the moment Parvati said Sabash, Saraswati stopped playing. Because the Sabash was far better than the veena itself, it was far more melodious. Like that, these two great people's oratory has put to shade the small effort of mine in composing these 35 talas. So it's very difficult to follow up and speak after such brilliant people like Dr. Gopalaswami now, as well as Shri Sheshasayee. So, but couple of small insights. Even yesterday, a lot of people wanted me to speak about a little bit of these compositions, but I thought, okay, when very good musicians who have been performing in this festival render it, they let the music speak for itself. These compositions, essentially, I mentioned a little bit of this yesterday, that my real motive for doing this is to try to explore aesthetics in complex rhythmic structures. The rhythmic structure of the tala need not be a limiting factor in the exploration of bhava. So this is the underlying thing. Now if you look at this statement, it may actually sound very easy on the surface, but in reality, the inspiration for these kind of compositions comes from the great masters, whether it is Oothukadu Venkatakavi or whether it is Shyama Shastri, Muthuswami Dikshitar, and to a certain extent Mysore Sadashiva Rao and others who have explored these kind of talas. Now, in fact, we also know Mahavaidyanath Shivan composed a beautiful Tilana in Simhanadara Talam. So, everything actually requires a different kind of mindset. To compose, it requires a different kind of mindset. To render it on the stage as a vocalist, as a main artist, it requires a different kind of mindset. And it also requires and invites a challenging mindset for the percussionists who are accompanying. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு தாளத்துக்கு எப்படி நடையமத்தலாம்? இந்த மாதிரி தாளத்துக்கு அங்கத்தை பேஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம ஹைலைட் பண்ணுற மாதிரி நம்ம நடை அமர்த்தலாமா, இல்லை அந்த தாளத்தில் இருக்கிற சரவலகுவை கொண்டு நடை அமர்த்தலாமா, இல்லை அந்த தாளத்தை பைசெக்ட் பண்ணியோ இல்லை ஈக்குவலாக டிவைட் பண்ணி ஒரு 17 அக்ஷரம்ஸ் தாளம் அப்படின்னுனா யூஆர் ஹேவிங் 68 if it's of one kalai per avartanam kind of situation. So அந்த 17 highlight பண்ணி 4 தடவை வாசி அப்படி highlight பண்ணலாமா? So many options are there even for the mridangist to explore. And if you are given a tanya avartanam in this kind of composition, then it opens up another whole new dimension for exploration. So the whole beauty is about exploring different structures and the whole musical movement, if you notice. Now if you take a tala like Mishra Jati Atta Talam, but different kinds of explorations are possible even as a composer. The lyrical structure of the piece, the prasam that I was trying to do in some of these things, nothing is actually like a formula, of course. But in some cases, the prasam will come along the lines of the lagu. The two lagus of the tala will dictate the dvitiyakshara prasam, the edugai monai kind of things that can dictate that. Sometimes it can also have antyakshara prasam, which is more a North Indian Sanskrit tradition. The South Indian tradition follows more the Tamil grammar that really dictated even the Sanskrit composers of the South, because you will see the Dvitiyakshara prasam happening in their compositions. Whereas in North India, the Antyakshara prasam, the last syllable rhyme is what the key is. So there are composers like Dikshitar or Oothukadu Venkatakavi who have actually embedded both of these kind of things in some of the compositions. If you see, you will have the second syllable rhyme as well as the last syllable rhyme happening in the same line. So these kind of beauties are there which are wonderfully invigorating. The ultimate thing is it's all a labor of love and passion and the magnetism of beauty. So these kind of talas have that scope. And in a concert situation, if you notice this 35 talas since yesterday, from the concert perspective, have tried to create, bear in mind a concert form, and created varnams as well as kritis that can be rendered at any part of the concert, whether it's the first part of the concert or as a main piece, like some of these ragas you heard, like Shankarabharanam or Karagarapriya and all that. Probably you'll be hearing Kalyani and all that today, which are really appropriate for a main piece in a concert or even a sub-main in some of the things, and some Rakti Raga compositions, say Sahana, Nilambari or other such ragas, Ahiri and so forth. And then there are lighter ragas which will also be a part of the thing. And then you can have certain compositions which are in offbeat ragas, like say if you want to have a Palamanjari or something. And as Shri Sheshasayee said, there are compositions in ragas like Kadana Kutuhala, which can be a bright, peppy part of the concert. So any of the compositions that you take in this 35 talas, I've endeavored to make it ultimately a performance-oriented piece. It should not just be a grammar thing just for theory books or for PhD kind of situation, but I really like it to be for a concert situation that can be enjoyed by all of you. At the same time, if there is some beauty at an artistic level and so many other dimensions that I mentioned can be explored, then it's a fantastic thing for all of us. And as I said, the brilliant ways in which the talas can be explored by a master composer is very, very inspiring. Now, I have said this example several times, that the way Sri Sheshasayee mentioned this, and he observed this point, that in some of the places I was hugging the agam of the tala. The structure of the tala actually dictated the way in which the lyrical thing also was flowing. So it is also part of the inspiration that the tala gives the composer. The tala actually adds to the inspiration of the composer. If you are only composing to normal kind of talas, then we are always set in a kind of a cliched mindset. But here the tala actually brings out the best. It demands that you go deeper into the art form to try and create something else. So the primary thing here is the investment of time. If you take Sarangadeva, who mentions in the 12th century 108 talas. Some of these 108 had as many as 128 units per cycle, which is Simanandana Talam. And you have stories of Shama Shastri handling Sharabanandana Talam, which is 79 aksharams per cycle. But even then, tala started shrinking. You started seeing by 1700s, very few composers are handling any of the complex talas. None of the 108 talas have been really handled except as an exhibition piece, which is now, if you're talking about Mahavaidyanath Shivan's composition in Simananda Talam, is probably the only example in that tala. Rest of the 108, we don't even have many of the actual performance happening. Similarly, by the time it came to Oothukadu Venkatakavi, he handled Sankirna Jati Matti Talam, Mishra Jati Atta Talam, Khanda Jati Dhruva Talam, all in two kalais, some of these masterpieces. The way in which he handled these talams is an education in itself for any musician. So that is an inspiration. Then by the time it came to Shama Shastri, who lived about 50 years later, he handled Khanda Jati Jampa Talam, Sariya Varama and Bhairavi, which is a fantastic piece. And he also composed some Varnams in Chaturashratam, Tishra Mattyam and so forth. But Dikshitar only stuck to the 7 talas, the Sapta talas in his Varakritis. Tyagaraja very rarely ventured into even those talas. He was more comfortable composing in Adi Talam and so on. Not whether he was comfortable or not, he preferred by nature. What we have is more a rare example of, say, Dachukovelena or Dayaleni Bratukemi in Mishra Jampa or so forth. So, after that, very few composers ventured into any of these talas, except Mysore Sadashivarao once in a while. And you have rare instances of other composers doing something. So what I'm saying is, now, if you take a Carnatic concert, most of the Pallavis and all that, only as a thematic thing we venture into other talas. my intention here is that the beauty of talas can definitely be brought out, and it adds variety and dimension to a concert form. So it is just the way in which we are able to invest our time in working, getting the comfort in these kind of talams. Otherwise, it's very easy to forget a lagu or a dhritam or a beat, and then, maybe put extra another 2 lagus in Sankirna Jati Dhruva Talam, which is going to take our count to somewhere like 29 plus another 18, 47 units per cycle and all that. So it's very, very important for us to even develop that kind of alertness that is required to handle these kind of talas, especially if you're going to venture into Kalpanaswarams or so forth in this. So all this is definitely a beautiful new horizon that can be opened for any musician by rendering this kind of composition. Not only these songs, but also that of the great masters. And I'm very glad that Karnataka has been doing this, and I should thank all the artists, each and every one of the artists who have taken so much pains to learn these compositions. My warmest compliments to all of them. It's not an easy job, and with their busy concert schedule, they have taken the time and effort to do this. And my thanks to Shashikiran also. I started composing from 1979 or 1978. In about 700 of my compositions, very first composition when I composed, in that I had the word Ravikiran in that as my signature. There was this great mridangist Palagat Ramachandrayar, who was one of the topmost artists in the world of mridangam, respected by all the peers of his times. He advised me, Ravikiran abdin vechikade, Ravi Shashiன்னு வச்சுக்கோ அப்படின்னார். அவர் அப்போ சொல்லி இந்த ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிக்காக சொல்லியிருக்கார். இன்றைக்கி Shashikiran is popularizing some of my compositions, so I'm very happy that I'm having that as my signature. Thank you all very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Ravikiran sir. We'll move on to the next concert, which will be by Vidushi K. Gayatri.